Hi, everybody. Pastor Jason back with you once again for a Holy Week Wednesday meditation. It's good to be with you once again this afternoon as we are in the midst of Holy Week on this Wednesday. Tomorrow we celebrate Holy Thursday, Maundy Thursday, where we see Jesus washing the disciples' feet, showing that servant heart. And then we go into the garden and the arrest and this incredible trial that ends up putting Jesus on a cross. We'll hear once again in just a couple days those words of finality which bring us joy. It is finished. Jesus accomplishing for you and for me and for the entire world all that was necessary for us to be saved. When someone has a bad day, I've heard it said a few times around here, it's been a day. I know for us, it's been a year. A year ago, I came to you for the first time on a Wednesday reflection. And a year ago, we were thinking about what is coming. A virus that was spreading, data that was coming in, thoughts from local and state and the country and in the world wondering how this would affect us. It's been a year. The first couple months, I could come to you only this way for worship. And yet, the Sunday prior to Memorial Day, we were able to open up our services once again, limiting with in-person worship, along with live streaming, and we haven't stopped since. In the midst of this pandemic, God has allowed us to continue to get His word out, to share His glorious message, that He is a God of love, that He continues to care for all of us, even in the midst of all the struggles that have been going on. Certainly, it's been a year. And yet for me, I can boldly say it's been a year in Jesus. As we ponder this Holy Week, as we rejoice in what God has given to us in Jesus the Christ, I want to leave you with some words from Isaiah. We read these words every year on Good Friday. They're sobering words as Isaiah speaks, God leading him, of course, what the Messiah will do, what He will bring, and the comfort that it gives in. It won't be easy. We know Jesus, the passion of the Christ, coming to us, the beatings, the pain, the spitting, the mocking, true God being treated lower than the lowest, hanging on a cross, and yet still loving. So, as I leave you with these words today, I pray God's peace to you, that you will be bound ever closer to your Savior. Indeed, it's been a year, but it's been another year in Jesus. And I pray these words will help you remember what Jesus has done, and to know the cross is not the end. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. And that light is Jesus. The grave cannot hold Him. Death cannot hold Him. The devil cannot hold Him. He is the victor. So as I read these words and we remember all that Jesus is about to go through once again through the eyes of faith, I pray God's peace upon you as we journey with Jesus to Jerusalem, to the cross, and then rejoicing in the empty tomb. Who has believed what he has heard from us? And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? For he grew up before him like a young plant, and like a root out of dry ground. He had no form or majesty that we should look at him, and no beauty that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And as one from whom men hide their faces, he was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. Upon him was the chastisement that brought us peace. And with his wounds we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned every one, each to his own way. And the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. Like a lamb that is led to the slaughter, and like a sheep that before its shearers is silent, so he opened not his mouth. By oppression and judgment he was taken away. And as for his generation, who considered that he was cut off out of the land of the living, stricken for the transgression of my people? And they made his grave with the wicked, and with a rich man with his death, although he had done no violence, and there was no deceit in his mouth. Yet it was the will of the Lord to crush him. He has put him to grief. When his soul makes an offering for guilt, he shall see his offspring. He shall prolong his days. The will of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. Out of the anguish of his soul he shall see and be satisfied. By his knowledge shall the righteous one, my servant, make many to be accounted righteous, and he shall bear their iniquities. Therefore I will divide him a portion with the many, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he poured out his soul to death and was numbered with the transgressors. Yet he bore the sin of many and makes intercession for the transgressors. This is the word of the Lord, a promise of what our Savior will do. Know this always: by his wounds, you and I have been healed. Again, as we continue this Holy Week, may God's peace be with you as we remember the why he came, why he needed to die, and why he rose again. All because of his love for you and for me. May that always resonate in your hearts.